I live in So Congo Square has been a long time coming. One of the blurbs said 15 years, but that was the first event that I sponsored around Congo Square in 1995 for children. It was an interdisciplinary performance involving storytellers and dancers and drummers. And it took place in New Orleans as well as Jackson, Mississippi. My home is Madison, very close to Jackson. And during that time, a lot of people contributed to the book. And if you get the book, I really would like to look at all of the people who contributed, and many of them are in this room. Many of the people I see in archives, some local writers. And by the way, we have not only local influential people here, but a national figure. I want to point out Kenny Leon, who's the Broadway director, director Raisin and the Sun. Thank you for coming. His recent play, he's done other Broadway plays as well. And the local writer who influenced this book the most is Colombo Yasalam. He was my mentor throughout the project. I was a part of his writing group, the No More Literary Society. So, a little bit about the book. I start out talking about Louisiana, the founding of the colony, who the people were, where they came from, and then the enslaved Africans who were brought first, where they came from. And I talk a lot in the book about the Africans themselves, because throughout the French, the Spanish, and American period, there were different ethnic groups who were brought to Louisiana, and those impacted culture in different ways. And so I am very careful to talk about the timeline of these. When I know the information about what was happening in Congo Square at that time, I talk about that because it changed over the course of the time. So I talk about the people, who they were, where they came from, their worldview, their religious view, what they wore even, you know. I talk about the marketing that took place at Congo Square. We often hear about the dancing and the singing, but seldom do we hear about the economic exchange, how important that was. And it's significant to know that at the foundation were people who were enslaved. They were the ones who were buying the merchandise. They were the ones who were selling, as well as free people of color. But the enslaved had a very important role in that marketing that took place. I also talk about the songs, and you're going to hear one of them tonight. One of the most popular songs that took place in Congo Square, that was sung rather in Congo Square during the American period. Again, it's important to talk about the periods because there were different people who came in. So during the American period, the greatest population or ethnic population was the Congo. They came from the Congo nation. This was also true increasingly during the Spanish period. But during the American period, the majority of the first ones who were brought were from the Senegambian area. So they brought different cultures, but different cultural practices, but all of them blended. And at some point, they all met up at Congo Square. I talk about the musical instruments. And where did I get all of this information? Where did I get the information about the songs and about the dances? I actually combed the archives. Not just the archives locally, but archives out of state as well, and out of town. Went to Natchitoches, went to Baton Rouge, went to Brown University. Some information came from Harvard University. Library of Congress. I want to share with you some musical instruments. This is the forerunner of the banjo. So this is credited as coming from the Senegambian area, although there are string instruments all over the African continent that are very similar and have a gourd background. But anthropologists say that this model came from the Senegambian area. Now, when I have my full presentations, I have a slide show showing sketches of this instrument that was done in 1819 by Benjamin Latrobe. So Benjamin Latrobe, along with lots of other travelers, wrote about what he saw at Congo Square on Sunday afternoons. And he has left one of the most popular accounts for us, along with sketches of instruments. So we know that this was there. And we also know that many other instruments, well, there's some of which I have and some that I don't have, we know that this instrument was played in Congo Square. Now, the popular name, and I just have to tell you this because I know you probably heard being called the thumb piano. Yes, but one anthropologist said, please don't call it that, call it by its name. It has different names depending on what country it came from. This one I bought in Zimbabwe, it's called an imbira. So when it is in Ghana, kalimba, saxophone, sanza in different places. So these are all versions of the instrument. It's played all over. You can see the gourd is there as a sound chamber. In this case, it comes out. This one I purchased in South Africa. This gourd is attached to the back. And then this one actually sits over in a really huge gourd, which I did not bring because to travel with it is amazing. And so now I want you to listen to the rhythm of the song. Remember, it begins with the habanero rhythm. So it goes dun, 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 dun. Okay, so it's boom, 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 1, da 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 da, 2, da 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 da, 3, da da da, and repeat. Boom, 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 1, da 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 da, 2, da, and stop. Is that too fast? Let's try it. Ready and boom, 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 2, 3, boom, 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 1, da da da, 2, da, and stop. Let's try it again. And this time you're going to hear the drum come in. That's ready and boom, 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 boom. 2, boom, 3, boom, 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 2, and stop. Boom. Ready again. Let's do this song and boom, 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 boom. What was it? Okay. But this time I have to divide the class. So on this side, you're going to listen to the drum. You hear it? What was he playing? Somebody said it. On Congo Square. People come around 3 o'clock, 3 or 4, no set time. And the one thing that was very common was that they gathered in circles. And within those circles, there were musicians. So each circle had its own musician. And each circle had its own dancers. So there were dancers inside, as well as musicians inside of those circles. But those people who were standing around were not just standing like this, right? They were also participating, singing and calling and responding and making gourd rattles like this, playing musical instruments and replacing the dancers when they became exhausted. So there was no audience and performer, say. You know, everybody performed. And that's true in African traditions everywhere. There's no distinction between the audience and the performer. It's a community, it's a group effort and interaction. So circles varied in numbers. Some travelers, and I relied heavily on the travelers' accounts because they were so amazed, Northerners, when they came down and saw this on Sunday afternoons, that they wrote about it in their journals. One traveler wrote, everybody should see Congo Square, at least once. He said they would never forget it nor regret it. So it was a tourist attraction very early on, and I contend that people are still coming here looking for Congo Square.
Freddi, would you comment on the dance traditions we do today, historically? What kind of relationships you found in your research?
So, Not only do I have the names of the dances in this book, but I also have dance descriptions. And remember I talked about Benjamin Latrobe, who actually entered some of those circles and sketched the musical instruments that he saw. He also wrote very detailed, or more detailed than most people, descriptions of the dances. And in some of those circles he talked about ladies with handkerchiefs, in a line, dancing around the inside of the circle. Reminds us of what? Line.
I'm going to sing a lot of things in Mandingo, and your respond will be Mama, 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 Sao. Let's clap. Let's clap. Mama, 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 Sao.